Hi, my name is Chris Summerfield. Over the last 30 years I've been recording people from every background you can imagine by recording festivals across Europe and the UK as well. And I've seen millions of faces, taken thousands of photos of people. So I've got a big picture in my head as to what's going on socially across Europe basically. And I was brought up in Cheshire, and as a boy my brother and I would run to school 7 miles to primary school from one town to another, being brought up in the Cheshire countryside. And then my first job was working in market gardening for a Polish immigrant in Cheshire, and one of the best jobs I ever had, one of the best bosses I ever had actually. Then I worked in a concrete factory, and my best friend had a brother in the Air Force, so I was in a bit of a trap at home at that stage. So I decided to try and join the Air Force. Didn't think I'd get in, and I did. And I didn't drink before I went into the Air Force, and then I got into a very bad drinking habit because I wanted to fit in with everybody, and because I had to bring myself up as a youth. Then I wasn't very good at mixing with people anyway, so I'm used to being individual. So from there I went into all sorts of directions and wasn't over happy with what was happening. So for 3 or 4 years I was just moving around from area to area in the Air Force, and then I found out about the mountain rescue team in North Wales. So I got posted to RAF Valley for Strike Command, so it's a very high security area, and I managed to get into full-time mountain rescue as a driver, and there's only 5 full-time members in the team, and they supported a volunteer team of 30 odd members that all had trades in the Air Force. So it's always difficult because they'd always take the mickey out of you. So I decided then that actions speak louder than words, so I proved my fitness and proved myself in my fitness, and I managed to stay mountain rescue for 5 years until I had a flight sergeant that I didn't really get on with that posted me out after the 5 years, because posting is only normally 3 years anyway, so I did very well to stay there for 5 years. And during that time I climbed Mount Rainier in Washington, climbed in the French Pyrenees, and had some of the best life experiences you can ever imagine. Getting winched off helicopters. During that time I flew in one of the Hawks, in the front seat of a Hawk, which is like Red Arrow, it's a Hawk trainer. Somebody's calling me, so I'll catch up again. Over the years I've recorded all sorts of things, from close to live, the NEC in Birmingham, bodybuilding championships, what else, loads of things. Artists, music, festivals all over Europe, travel documentary programs all over Europe. And life's an adventure, and I love to travel and do things rather than be stuck in the same atmosphere all the time, because too many people get bogged down with small petty issues and small things, because their circles are very small. So I like to look outside the bigger and see the bigger picture, or look outside the box and see things at an international level rather than a local level. I can't be doing with getting down with small issues. Life's too important. My work is all about seeing the best in people, and ironically I'm the one that seems to get the knocks. I've had so many setbacks in trying to get my career together and move forward, and it's not by the people, because the people tend to be open-minded. It seems to be by the system that seems to want to keep everybody under control, which is very frustrating indeed, especially in places like the place I'm living in at the moment. I've been here 30 years and I'm not going anywhere at all, which is incredibly frustrating. I don't expect it to be highly successful and earning a lot of money by now by what I do, because I don't think I'm that bad at what I do. But strange events. So one of the best life experiences I had was climbing Mount Rainier in Washington as part of an expedition with the RAF Valley and the dual coordination expedition. We went over St. Helens in a stretched American Hercules with American cadets, Army cadets, And we went, in order to get there, we went into Washington DC, dropped down to Dallas, Sacramento, Colorado Springs, went out through Seattle and came back through Iceland in about 2.5 to 3 weeks. And I was probably the slowest member of the team because I had major problems with altitude sickness, because being roughly tuppy mountaineers, we didn't take time to acclimatise before we went up the mountain, and I had problems. So a guy called Chippy Wathen, who's my buddy on the expedition, sort of dragged me up the mountain, and like any major event, when you're working as a team, you're only as good as the slowest member of the team, so I was the slowest member of the team in that case. But it was a privilege, and life experience wise it was second to none, and I never regret that. Then after that I went on an expedition to the Pyrenees, the French Pyrenees, and we took 2 RAF officers with us, and they just disappeared into a place called Toulouse, and we never saw them during the rest of the expedition. So on the expedition going up into the Pyrenees, we had to carry all their gear with us. But then when we dropped down back into Toulouse at the end of the expedition, they suddenly appeared again, and they'd had the time of their lives in Toulouse, just partying. And when we went up into the valleys, going up to the mountain range, one of the hostels had been burned out earlier on, so we had a helicopter that was buzzing us all the time, and it had a cargo of wood underlying its belly on a strap, and by the end of the walk up the valley, it was buzzing us as it was going up and waving to us as it was going up the valley, and it was a beautiful experience because it's like alpine fields and meadows with beautiful crystal clear waters, and another fantastic life experience, second to none. And I need that adventure in my life. I don't drink, don't smoke, don't take drugs. I have drunk, and I can't handle it, I get out of control, and I'm very outspoken anyway, and it just makes me angry with certain sections of the system that is damaging to the well-being of other people, because I stand up against bullies. So have problems with the areas of the establishment that tries to control people when they behave differently to other people. So over the years I've recorded festivals all over Europe and in the UK, and it's literally running a marathon. I have to be super fit, have no social life because I don't have time for a social life. My work is my social life, because I've got to watch the cameras, look after my cameras, charge the batteries up, and then rest up, and then get off to do something again the next day, and be focused and motivated to use every day constructively. So if I'm having a social life, I'm spending a lot of money which I can't afford to do because all my money goes into my work, and I have to look after my equipment as well, make sure nothing gets damaged or broken, and make sure I'm switched on for the next day. And I get a buzz out of that because when I'm doing the processions or the parades, I'm literally running a marathon. I'm using 2 cameras, a video camera and a stills camera, and I've got to be everywhere and nowhere at the same time, so I'm running up and down the procession, so I've got to be super fit, and hopefully I've got better results or more widespread results than what most people get by doing that and being that. So that's been my time and financial investment over many years now. So I'm looking for publishers and outlets to make it work and get things moving. But to me it's a total adventure. It's like climbing a mountain. I get a high from it. I don't drink, don't smoke, don't take drugs, and when I have drunk or I used to smoke when I was young, but I started having problems breathing, so I gave up altogether, and for the last 20-30 years I've just concentrated on being super fit, and that's my best buzz on endorphins and adrenaline, the best high in the world. When you're recording people from all walks of life, it's difficult to get on with everybody and agree with everybody's point of view, even though I try and not look below the surface, because if you look below the surface on anybody you can find faults. So the only time I have problems with people is when they're being rude or sarcastic towards other people that are weak, that are in a worse position than what they are, or if they're bullies, or they come out with racist and sexist or very narrow blinkered views, which is difficult because a lot of people have blinkered views on things. I try to be open-minded and non-biased, and certainly don't put anything across my channels that degrading towards other people or the people I'm working with, because that would be unfair. A lifetime of cultural and lifestyle photography. Chris Summerfield. You can contact me at easiestphoto1@gmail.com. Available for assignments. It's life.